Well, welcome back to the Prospect Hut. Hopefully you like this video. And of course, hit the subscribe button. We'll talk about Mets prospects here. Obviously with the All-Star break now. We're going to talk about the minor leagues a lot here. And of course, we have a report from last week. This is the weekly report from Mesmerize. Hopefully you like it. So this is from Mesmerize, like I said. Headline, Francisco Alvarez goes on homer spree. And I would think that he'll be back with the Mets probably this weekend when the Mets play the Reds. Francisco Alvarez struggled mightily in his time at the Major League Club this year, but that is not the case in AAA Syracuse. This past week, Alvarez crushed 4 homers and 10 RBIs in just 6 games, reaching a total 8 homers in just 64 bats since being sent down. His play helped secure the Syracuse Mets a series win in the final series before the All-Star break. I would expect that he'll be with the Mets on Friday, because the Mets need offense. We have more on Alvarez's numbers and another. Well, it doesn't matter. They could do. The Syracuse Mets, this is AAA. The Syracuse Mets took 4 out of 6 games from the league high value Iron Pigs, continuing their second half tear. They're now 13-5 in the second half of the season, 44-49 overall. You know, with some of the town coming up, their record should be getting better. Outside of Alvarez, Drew Gilbert led the way in what was another great week. Gilbert went 7 for 23, 3 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 6 RBIs. Second on the team behind Alvarez. Gilbert's strong play of late, a 935 OPS in his last 29 games, has his season OPS up to 767 after a very rough start. Joey Manassas also shined, going 7 for 18 with a double and a home run. Nolan McLean delivered another impeccable start, a regularity since his promotion to Syracuse, but this may have been his best one yet. McLean twirled a gem of 6 scoreless innings, allowed 3 hits and 3 walks, while striking out 10. McLean now owns a 2.52 ERA in 11 games in AAA. He's pitched really, really well. Brandon Sprout also delivered his best start of the season, throwing 7 scoreless innings with 3 hits allowed and 4 strikeouts. Sprout has been brilliant in his last 3 starts, and not allowed to run 18 innings in that span. And he's lowered his ERA to 4.61, which is very good, because that was in the high 5s for a very long time. Double A, the Binghamton Rum Ponies won their series against the Altoona Curve, taking the first 4 games of the series before dropping the last 2. Binghamton is now 12-6 in the second half of the season and 57-28 overall. Jed Williams had a scorching week at the plate, going 10 for 26, with 4 doubles, 2 homers, 3 walks, and 2 stolen bases. He drove in 5 runs and scored 5 runs of his own. Williams has been electric this year, and he has his OPS up to 891 for the year. Wow, it's really good. Carson Bench also shined, going 5 for 10 with 2 doubles, a homer, and 4 walks. Like Williams, Bench also drove in 4 runs and scored 5 runs, drove in 5 and scored 5 on his own. Bench looks more than comfortable in Double A, owning a 956 OPS, 13 games since his promotion. We're going to be talking a lot about him next spring. I can guarantee you that. Kevin Parada had another great week in his bounce-back campaign, going 8 for 16 with 5 doubles, 2 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. Parada has a 990 OPS in his last 30 games to put his OPS for the year at 739. His OPS at his lowest was in the 4s, folks. It was bad. R.J. Gordon gave the best start of the week for the Rum Ponies in his Double-A debut, allowing 1 run over 7 innings while striking out 8. Gordon allowed just 3 hits and 1 walk in the effort. He now has a 2.89 ERA on the season between Brooklyn and Binghamton. Jonathan Santucci had another fantastic start, also in his Double-A debut. He allowed 2 runs over 6 innings while striking out 8, with 2 hits and 1 walk allowed. Santucci has completely erased his dreadful start to the season as a 3.42 ERA between Brooklyn and Binghamton. Here we have High A. The Brooklyn Cyclones split their series with the Wilmington Blue Rocks to move to 11-10 in the second half of the season. Overall, Brooklyn has a 57-30 record. Chris Suarez had the best week at the plate for the Cyclones, despite not having his best week. Suarez went 3 for 16 with a double, home run, 5 walks, a stolen base. Suarez added to his great season, proving his OPS to 837. Diego Mascara also had a good week, going 5 for 10 with 5 walks and 2 RBIs. Noah Hall delivered a brilliant start, tossing 7 shutout innings with 4 strikeouts. Hall allowed just 2 hits and a walk. With the effort, he lowered his ERA to 2.41. I believe he was drafted last year with the Mets. Brendan Gerton, I believe another pitcher that they drafted last year, also didn't allow runs, going 4 1/3 innings with 4 strikeouts. Gorton now has a 2.69 ERA in 16 games with the Cyclones. Well, Watson, another player they drafted last year, made a couple of starts and looks solid, going combining for 7 1/3 innings with 3 runs allowed and 8 strikeouts. Watson owns a 2.64 ERA in 7 games since joining Brooklyn. Low A. St. Lucie Mets dominated the Bradenton Marauders, winning 5 of their 6 games in the series. St. Lucie's off to a fast start in the second half, owning a 14-6 record for the whole year. St. Lucie's 48-37. Jonathan Enriquez had a great week at the plate, going 9 for 26, a home run, a walk, a stolen base. Vincent Perozzo also looked good, going 5 for 12. Last year's draft pick Nick Roselli had a solid week, going 6 for 16 with 2 doubles, 2 walks, and a stolen base. Roselli has really struggled this year, but his latest series has his OPS up to 641. Franklin Gomez delivered the best start of the week for the Mets, tossing 4 2/3 innings. Gomez allowed 1 hit and 3 walks while striking out 5. He's been excellent this year, owning a 2.27 ERA with the St. Lucie club. Wellington Aracena also continued his recent hot stretch, tossing 4 scoreless innings. He allowed 2 hits, a walk, and struck out 4. Aracena now has a 2.56 ERA for the year and a 1.00 ERA over his last 6 games and 27 innings. The FCL Mets had a second consecutive good week, going 3-1 to improve the year to 21-25. They remain in 3rd place in the Florida Complex League East Division. Edwin Lantiga was fantastic at the plate for the FCL Mets, going 5 for 13 with 2 doubles, a home run, and a team lead 7 RBIs. His OPS is 745. On the mound, Jonathan Jimenez had a good start on the mound, allowing 2 unearned runs in 4 innings. Jimenez allowed 5 hits and a walk while striking out 3. Through 11 games, Jimenez is 0-5 with a 4.13 ERA. The DSL Mets, this is the Dominican Summer League. The DSL Mets Orange went 3-2. They're 19-11 on the year. The DSL Mets Blue went 4-1, and they're 15-16. Adolfo Miranda continued his strong start for the DSL Mets Orange by going 6 for 16. Julio Gonzalez threw 3 hitless innings. He has a 2.08 ERA in 6 appearances. And the DSL Mets Blue, Yober Semprin went 13 for 23, wow, with a home run and 6 RBIs, raising his OPS to 1045. On the mound, Abner Meza tossed 5 scoreless innings. He has a 1.50 ERA, 7 appearances, and 5 starts. So this is the rundown of what happened during the week. Amazingly enough. Let me just run down a couple other things. A.J. Yoon has the highest batting average for the Mets at 306. Carson Bench has the highest OPS on the Mets minor leagues. Ryan Clifford has the most home runs. A.J. Ewan has the most stolen bases at 55. On the pitching side, Jonah Tong has a 1.83 ERA. He has the most strikeouts at 125, and the best whip, walks and hits per 9 innings, is Zach Thornton at 0.812. So this is what's going on in the Mets minor league system. The next set of games will happen at the end of the week. There's no games until, I believe, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Syracuse plays Norfolk. Binghamton plays New Hampshire. Brooklyn plays Hub City. And the St. Lucie Mets play Palm Beach. So you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut. I'll see you later.